episode 4, folks.
Yeah, this is the
How about
time of
that?
the week where we sit down in our little corner,
Yep, down the end of the hall.
talk about photography, talk about art and design, talk about, more importantly, where they mix together in the world of
Yep,
clients.
lots of things creative.
Lots of things creative.
Yes.
Today we're looking at mentors and role models.
Yep.
So you know, from the photography point of view, you're starting out, you got your camera, you got your gear, you got Photoshop, you look at and then you go, what do I take photos of now?
It's really, really daunting.
It is.
It's just such a huge world.
Yeah.
Where am I going to start?
And
what am I going to do?
Conversely, the other thing is, it's the where to start thing, and then there is also the how do I elevate my game. So I take nice photos of horses in the field, eating grass. Is there someone out there that does this better than me that I can learn from?
Yep.
All right.
Yep. So the importance of mentors, heroes,
Role models,
role models,
all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
How do you find them? I'm glad you asked.
Oh, Ben, how do you find models? Role models.
Well, for me, it was books. Okay?
Great place to start.
I know, and I know there's the internet, and the internet's good. The thing about the internet, though, is sometimes it can lead you astray. Can you believe that? Yeah.
Well, it can be a really big time waster too.
Totally. Sometimes you put in the best black and white photographer, because you're into black and whites, and you might find Ansel Adams and all those sorts of guys, Henry and all those champions.
Yeah.
Or you might find a photographer who's really good at keywords and tagging
the best black and white photographer in the whole
Yeah,
world.
that's it. Whereas, I mean, and it's all subjective, and if you like them and you can learn something off them, awesome. But with books, there just seems to still be a few more checks and balances.
Yep.
And before they title a book the best black and white photographer ever, there seems to sort of be some decision making going on.
And occasionally you can walk into a shop,
Yep.
and on the table will be an older copy, sure, but it's an older version, but it's got lots of key names in it, and it's been thrown out for $5 or $10.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
that's a bonus too.
That's it. Have you been to the $10 bookstore in Albury?
Not yet, but I know.
You go to the photography section. Yeah, history. You just. Anyway.
So the advantage of a book is, instead of trawling through numerous websites and getting sidetracked on all sorts of things, bang,
yeah,
straight into it.
Totally. And your brain behaves different when you're looking at a book.
Yep.
You know, there's, like we talked about last week with the print versus pixels thing.
Yep.
There's smell, there's touch.
That's right. When you go into a library, it's got a certain smell to it.
Yeah, yeah. So, and this is a good book. It's not even the current edition. It's just one that's kicking around TAFE.
Yep.
It's called The Photography Book, and it's about photography. And basically what you have is every page there is a photographer. Where is he? What was the example we used? Max DePayne.
Yep.
Because I think Albury have a bunch of his work on. They've bought a bunch.
Yep.
So what I would do, I'd get a book that talks a lot about photography, but not in detail.
Yep.
Flick through till we find someone we like.
Yep.
Where's Maxie boy? DePayne.
There is.
All right. So Australian photographer known for his
Gives
beach.
you just a bit of quick information, some keywords that you can then punch in as an internet search and save a whole lot of time.
That's it. So you're not going to learn a lot about Max DePayne here. You're going to learn from this book that he took nice photos of people's backsides at the beach.
Yeah.
All right. There is more to Max DePayne than that. Okay.
There is.
So you look at that, you go, holy crud, I love how the blacks are black, the whites are white, composition's cool, there's a quirky element to that photo.
Yeah.
Put Max DePayne into Google. All of a sudden your search is narrowed.
Yeah.
You're going to come across probably websites about Max, websites, you know, that are sanctioned by his family, sort of thing. And then you'll get into this community all around Max, people who admire Max, people who have been to his workshops. When is the next exhibition? Bam, from one page in a book, you've jumped into a community of photography.
And already you're starting to think more about, okay, who are some big names out there that I can look up to and get some ideas.
I mean, So that's my...
And the other book?
The other book?
That looks interesting.
This is a much newer book that's come out, and it is right up my alley. It is called Photography of the Age. And basically, it is newspaper photography in Australia. The author, Kathleen Whelan, has jumped in and shadowed age photographers and written about them. And so, you know, you'll pick up Joe Amaro.
Some key names.
He'll have a bunch of his best photos in there. And talks you through them. More than that, it is also a really, like, it's not subtle. So there'll be pages on what camera do you use and what do you do in Photoshop and all that kind of stuff. And I showed this book to my wife, who has an appreciation of photography, but not a blaring hot passion for it. And she went, "Well, I like looking at the pictures. I found the technical stuff really boring." That's fine.
That's okay.
Because if you love it, you love it.
That's right.
So, how do I find stuff? Books. How else do I find stuff? I see a photographer working. I go, that guy has a bigger camera than mine, and I introduce myself to him. Sometimes it's terrifying, but the thing I've found overall is that the photographers are really nice and they're happy to share. And I think that's true of most creatives. I mean, every now and then you'll come across a dud. Don't worry about it.
They don't want anyone to know anything about their work because they're hiding some little techniques and that sort of thing. But most people are really happy to talk about.
You might get. I've run into guys even locally. Hey man, how you doing? Yeah, good. Walk off. But look, I mean.
And with social media now, a quick, through Facebook or whatever it might be.
It's surprising.
And it's amazing that often they'll come back to you.
That's it. I once got a Facebook message from Chase Jarvis saying, "Keep your chin up." Hey,
there you go.
It
Nicole here emailed Von Glitschka in America.
Yeah, the kick-ass graphic designer.
He gets back to her within a few days, and he's produced a little video for the printing graphic art students.
It's
top name in America,
Ben Von Wong. Have you heard of him? He's like a photographer. He's got a big he's not the Afro photographer, but he's this mental guy who mentally cool. Like he will do. He will recreate a battlefield and then shoot on his iPhone. And there'll be pyrotechnics going on. He came to Albury and took Tyler Grace out for a photo shoot. Tyler said, "You're amazing dude. I love your work." Next thing, Ben Von Wong's on the doorstep with a camera. I'm not saying every pro photographer across the hemisphere is going to come pop in for a coffee.
That's right.
But you'd be surprised how nice they are.
It's amazing what can happen.
Anyway,
while we're on books too, the students need to use their student card and get over there to the library because it's a great resource.
Totally.
We share it with La Trobe and they have access to all of the other La Trobe, campuses. So if that book isn't here, they can get it in for you.
And sometimes if the book's not even in the La Trobe Empire and Wodonga TAFE Empire, they get it in anyway.
That's it. Yeah.
Your turn. Now, we're at 10 minutes.
Well, 10 minutes, have I?
No.
I was going to say, gee, I don't need to talk for that long.
No, I'm sorry.
Sometimes you come across a role model in an indirect way.
Absolutely.
So I started getting interested in creative thinking techniques, and I know everyone that I talk a lot about these, but I think they're pretty important.
Absolutely.
So doing a bit of research quite a few years ago on creative thinking techniques, and I come across the idea of an idea file. right? Keeping an idea file. Now, Thomas Edison, who we all tend to think of as an inventor, then we might think, oh yeah, he was an American inventor.
Was he the phone guy?
Yeah, light globes, that sort of thing.
Right.
So, long list of achievements.
Yeah.
So, the first recording of a voice and being able to play it back leads to the telephone, all that sort of thing. Didn't invent the light globe, but he took the existing idea and made it so much more affordable and accessible by, tweaking it and coming up with some amazing inventions that way. A vote recorder, magnetic iron ore separator. Okay, so the list goes on. But
What a show off!
The thing is,
What a show! Most people have one cool thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm just trying to take one good photograph. So I come across him, indirectly, and he's become a real sort of shining light in my field, because not so much of the whole scientific invention and all that sort of thing, but this whole simple idea of recording ideas and taking notes.
Right.
And there's benefits. The more you do it, the more it speeds up the creative process, because you think of something, you write it down, you draw it, and that idea feeds back into it, so therefore it kind of speeds up the process. It opens up a whole lot of new possibilities by feeding back in. You're thinking a bit more laterally, that sparks an idea, so that takes you off on a bit of a tangent, which can then lead to something.
Plus you're making it too.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, because you put it on paper.
Yeah, you're starting to visualise it and that sort of thing. And then when you come back to, so then you get busy for 6 weeks, 10 weeks, and you're doing other things, and then you get a bit of time and you want to come back to that idea, that thing that you were thinking of. If you hadn't have drawn it, or quick doodle, quick sketch, made some quick notes, some scribbly notes, if you hadn't have done that, when you come back to it, you forget all the little details.
Okay. Yep.
So by keeping a record, by keeping an ideas file, when you come back to it in 6 weeks, 10 weeks time, the details are there.
Okay.
And so it helps you more quickly get back into the process.
Right. Okay.
So sometimes your mentors, you come across them indirectly through something else.
Yeah.
But, to me, guys like this and, key women in the creative industries, they're inspiring. They give you ideas as to how you work, not just what you can do.
Yeah. Okay, that's important.
I think that's a really important thing.
So you can learn. You might think, I don't like Joe McNally's work, but you might love his workflow. You might love his way with people, how he relates to his subjects.
That's it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So it's important to find some key names out there and get going on it.
All right, we're going good for time today.
We are.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked about trying to be a bit more punchy and a bit more, so that, I don't know, not just your mum and my mum watch the show.
Yeah. The first couple episodes, they were huge, weren't they? So, we've nailed it. That's what we wanted to get across to you today. Yeah.
Now, industry news.
Yeah.
Bit of
a huge blow
locally.
Albury Wodonga region. Fairfax is letting go, or starting the redundancy process across Victoria. In its newspapers. Albury Wodonga is looking like about 20 jobs are going.
That's huge, isn't it?
From subbing, layouts, photography, journos. So I could speak for photography. It's looking like from a staff of 8, there will, in a couple of weeks, there will be a staff of 2.
2 people. Oh dear.
There's consultation, and all that going down now. Negotiation, hopefully. So hopefully those numbers will improve. But I don't know. I've worked there for years. A bunch of people have. Yeah.
that's going to be hard for the people who lose their jobs. But I suppose they're creative people, aren't they? And
well, that's it. I mean, the nice thing about photography is as long as you got a camera, you're making. And I doubt that Fairfax will take that away from them. And I'm going to miss all that documentary stuff they do, but I've no doubt the thing they do next will be awesome.
That's probably we could probably talk about that for a long time. That whole
Absolutely.
issue.
We might.
And maybe sort of it comes. Whoa, do you know what I?
Don't even mention it.
I forgot to put mine on silent too.
Yeah,
Oh, now folks, see, we're getting better, but then occasionally we forget little things like that.
I don't even look. I'm just going to wait for this to go away.
That's okay. That's all right. Don't worry about it. It'll give people something to laugh about. They can take their focus off this ridiculous tie that I've got on.
What I have to do is actually start to speak up because it's frozen the recording. So now you'll find my sounds back.
That's all right. Yeah. Look, we've got lapel mics and we've got all sorts of other things.
That's going to be a real bastard to edit.
Anyway. Technical problems do arise, Ben, don't they?
We might sign off.
Now, we don't have a little, thing. I know I haven't got one yet, but it's got to be sort of spontaneous and it's got to happen, nicely. So, easily. So it'll just be All right, we're gonna say goodbye. We're gonna give this 3 claps to give me some hope of editing this audio back in. And we will say apologies for the phone call. The claps are so that we can sync the audio. And,
it's a bad week. All right, thank you. Bye.
Episode 5 next.